Good morning, everyone. I am Mr. Santosh Lodha from Sri Vasist Vidyalaya. I'm going to teach you today economics, 12th standard. As you know that you have already wasted a lot of time, your time so far. Since last 1 month, we are unable to teach you. So why can't we start our lectures now? Just pull up your socks and be ready for your study. As you know that we have already started with the macroeconomics and first unit, that is national income. We are about to complete. But today we'll be starting with the second unit, that is money and banking, which has two chapters. That is, one is money, and the second will be banking, which contains 6 marks weightage according to your board paper. Let's begin with money chapter. As you know, students, that money is an important term, economical term, without which we cannot do anything in our life. We are going to cover few topics in this. First, this introduction we'll be doing, then what is barter system, then definition of money. As you know that functions of money is already excluded from your syllabus. We will not be doing functions of money, but the next topic, that is money supply, will be doing. So let's begin with introduction first. Money is the most important discovery of modern times. It is the foundation stone around which all the economic activities revolve. It is very difficult to imagine the modern economic life without money. It is the basic necessity of all economies. What does it mean? It is just like we need little more explanation for that. Actually, students, when in the olden days, or we can say the primitive history, we'll see, there was no money. A lot of problems people were facing. Just to overcome those problems and limitations, money was invented. And we can say this is the most important discovery of our modern times. Because without money, we cannot imagine even a single economic activity. The whole world is depending on this particular term, money. Without money, nothing can be done. And this has become a basic necessity of our life. Whichever thing we want for our day-to-day life, we need to purchase with the help of money only. And that's why we can say that money is an important topic, or we can say important term of our life. It's a basic concept, right? So let's discuss about the barter system. As you know, just now I told you that in the primitive world, all the trading activities were carried out with the help of barter system only. So what does actually the barter system mean? You might have studied in your 9th standard or 10th standard what is barter system. Once again, I'll recall your memory. Actually, barter system is a system where exchange of goods were taking place. Just for once again, exchange of goods for goods only. There were no money. That means all the activities were carried out. All the activities. That means suppose if a person wants, say for example, uh, rice. If he wants rice, he cannot purchase the rice, but he can exchange this extra rice. Or if he wants money, something else. If he have something extra, he can just give it to another person. He can take another good, whichever he needs from that particular. Now I just see in this particular part, you can see two people, that is two farmers are just exchanging their product. One farmer is having rice, and another person is having extra milk. So they both are exchanging their goods. There is rice he's giving, and in return he's taking the milk. Got it, students? What is this? You can say one commodity is given and another commodity is taken. And that's why we can just see this particular system is had another name, that is called CC economy. CC economy is what? Where C stands for commodity. Where C stands for commodity. That means commodity for commodity. Commodity for commodity. Another name for this particular thing is called barter economy. That means the economy where there is a direct barter of goods and services taking place. That type of economy can be called as barter economy. Is it clear, students? No doubt, I think so. Very simple thing. So now we'll go for the next topic. That what were the limitations which were faced by a lot of people at that time? That means barter system had a lot of limitations, loopholes. To overcome these, only money was invented. So let's discuss what about the limitations of barter. Yeah. So the first thing we can say is double coincidence of wants. That means the people, those who want to exchange their goods, in return they have to find a person who can sell the product of his choice. Say, for example, in the previous example, we have seen the farmer was having excess rice. In return, he wants milk. But then he has to go through a lot of people just to find out that who is having abundant milk, who can give it to him in return of rice. How it can be like how this particular activity will overcome or will take place only when both the parties are ready to exchange their goods or both the parties are in need of the same good provided by the other. That's why we call this particular concept as double coincidence. It is just like a coincidence only that suppose if I want milk and the party, the one who is standing in front of me, he also wants milk. And suppose if I want rice and the party who wants milk, he is also having rice. This type of coincidence should take place. Then only double coincidence, or we can say then only barter system will carry out. Understood, students? You can just see over here that is double coincidence of wants refers to the simultaneous fulfillment of mutual wants of buyers and sellers. It is very difficult to find double coincidence of wants in real life. It leads huge trading costs. Why it leads to huge trading costs? Because, for example, if a person wants to exchange any, suppose once again we'll go for the previous example that is rice, but he's not getting rice. He has to change the goods for many times till the time he is not getting of his choice, the goods of his cost. I would say the goods of his choice. That's why we can say trading costs involved in such a type of business will be more. To avoid all these things, money was invented. There are a few more limitations. Let's go one by one. First, limitations of barter system. Just now I told you that lack of double coincidence of wants. That means they have to search once again the same person with the coincidence of selling whatever he wants. You can just see one example is given over here. There is, say for example, A. He wants his shoes. I will give shoes for a new hammer. And the other person is telling that I will give rice for the shoes. The third person is there. He's telling I have fish to give and I need rice. Now all the three people, they are having the goods, those they want to exchange is different, where there is no need of hammer also, no need of shoes also, and no need of rice also. And whatever goods they want to sell, that is, first want to sell shoes, second want to sell is rice, the third want to sell fish. Of course, the third person who wants rice, he can take from the second one who is having extra rice. But in return, he wants shoes. He cannot. What he can do? First, he has to go to the first person. He has to change his rice. But then he also should be ready to exchange the shoes for the rice or for the fish. So such a type of coincidence will never take place. In reality, it is really a very difficult task. And that's why we can say it was a great drawback of barter system. Now, let's discuss the second limitation of barter system. Lack of common measure of value. What does it mean? Lack of common measure of value. You can say it was very difficult to find out that what is the value of. Yes, so we were discussing about the We were discussing about the lack of common measure of the value. This is the second limitation of barter system. Just see, in the barter system, all the commodities are not of equal value. There is no common measure, that is unit, of value of goods and services in which exchange ratios can be expressed. For example, A has wheat and B has rice, then it is difficult to decide how much wheat is needed to exchange with 1 kilogram of rice. In the absence of common measure, the exchange ratio is fixed randomly, in which one of the parties generally suffers. You would have understood. For example, a person is in need of rice, badly he is in need of rice. He will compromise with his choice, even though he might be having 2 or 3 kgs of wheat, he will exchange it just for 1 kg of rice, even though the price of both the products might be similar. So actually, we can say one party will suffer in such a case. Why? Because there was no standard measure. There was no common measure of value of goods at that time. It's a great difficulty people were suffering. So this was the second drawback of our barter system. Let's discuss the third one. Lack of standard of deferred payment. What is mean? Lack of standard of deferred payment under barter system, contract cannot take place for the future payments or credit transactions. Why? The borrower, just see, there are 3 points. First is the borrower may not be able to arrange goods of exactly same quality of the goods at the time of repayment. For example, if a person is having rice and he has given, I mean, it's like, for example, if a person has borrowed 2 kg of rice from a person by giving a promise that I'll repay the rice after 2 years. After 2 years, when he'll be exchanging or he'll be once again repaying the rice, it might be, we can say it can be a case that the quality of the rice might not be of same one, whichever he might have borrowed at I would say 2 years back, or at that time, whichever same quality of goods which he want to exchange might be having a lot of cost compared to the 2 years back. So we cannot say that such a type of transaction would have taken place in the past time, past era, because there was no standard of deferred payment. People were not satisfied in future payment. They were unable to do credit transaction. And the second topic, the second point, just see, there may be conflicts regarding which specific commodities to be used for repayment. Like they can argue with each other that we should keep one particular commodity as a specific commodity with exchange of which everyone wants to. Just like they could have used one product as a money. If you want to buy anything, you have to exchange with the same commodity. But then that particular commodity will be more, or we can say conflict with it, because whenever you might be knowing the topic of demand and supply, when the product is more and the supply is less, automatically the price will go down for that particular product. So this particular thing also couldn't take place at that time, and conflict may arise for the specific commodity, that which product should they keep as a specific product. Each and every person who might be having more product of say any commodity, they can fight with each other that no, this particular product should be a specific product, etc., etc. And that's why this standard of deferred payment cannot take place. The third point, we will talk about the commodity to be repaid may lose or gain its value at the time of repayment. So it is very difficult to make a deferred payment in the form of goods. This I've already discussed while discussing the first point. You might have understood that why deferred payment, standard of deferred payment was lacking at that time. And this is also a great drawback of our barter system, limitation of barter system. Let's discuss about the next one. Lack of store of value. What does it mean? Store of value. Under barter system, it is very difficult for the people to store wealth for future, or they cannot use it for the future. For example, most of the goods like wheat, rice, vegetables they possess were durable. Their quality deteriorates with passage of time. It was not durable. They cannot store it for the longer period of time. If we talk about wheat, if we talk about rice, vegetables, which cannot be kept for a longer period of time. But if we talk about today's money and all, we can keep it for a longer period of time. So obviously, honestly speaking, barter system, the goods were not having store value. Storage of goods require time and efforts. If suppose if they want to keep the goods, if they want to store the goods for the future, it will need more efforts and also it will require more time. Why efforts? Because they have to keep the goods safely. They have to keep the, I would say, suppose if I'm talking about wheat, rice, vegetable, and everything, they should keep it in such a way that it should not uh, affected by the worms, etc., etc. As a result, what happened? Goods cannot be used to store the earnings for a longer period of time. And because of this, so many difficulties were there in the barter system could not continue for a longer time. As a result, it was replaced by monetary exchange system, that is buying and selling of goods with the help of money. Now you might have understood that why money had been invented due to all these limitations which we have already studied above, all the four limitations, due to which reason we can say, as I said, these were the limitations of barter system, or due to which reason the money was invented. So now let's discuss what is money actually. You already studied that why money was invented. Now what is exactly money? The definition of money we are going to read. Money is generally accepted as a medium of exchange, measure of value, store of value, and standard of effectiveness. Whatever limitations you have studied recently just now of barter system all became the features of money, or we can say to make a definition of money, all the limitations you have to join together and you can sum up and you can make a definition. Once again, I'll just read for you. Money is generally accepted as a medium of exchange. You know what is medium of exchange. In return, you can get some goods whichever you wanted. And it has proper measure, common measure of value it has. And then store of value is also having. And standard of effectiveness. All these four features money is having, right? And jointly we can say this is the definition of money. Next is the term money is used to cover all such things like coins, currency, checks, etc., which are used to conduct business transactions and settlement of business claims. Whatever businessmen like deals are taking place, business deals, they need money. Or if you remember in the starting, we have studied all the economic activities cannot take place without the help of money. So all the economic activities, that is settlement of business, etc., etc., claims, we need money. One more thing you have to note it down that money can be any commodity chosen by common consent as an instrument of exchange of goods and services. You can see below, money can buy even services of bank, even you can buy some of the books, or you can buy your basic necessities from your mall, you can buy property, anything. So money, you can exchange your money as an instrument, whichever goods or services you want to buy with the help of money. Is it clear, student? So you might be knowing what is money now. Now, next topic which we are going to discuss is money supply. What is money supply? See, there is a lot of difference between money and money supply. There are two different concepts, two different definitions. One is money and another one is money supply. Don't confuse between this thing. Now, what is money supply? Money supply refers to the total volume of money held by public at a particular period of time. Particular point of time means, for example, if I'm talking about from 1st April to next year 31st March 2021, whatever money was held by the public, that it will sum up, that is called money supply during this particular period of time, that is 2021. Understood? What are the features of it now? If we talk about, it includes money held by public only, not by bank or not by financial institution or something else. It is money held by public only. Second, the term public signifies the money using sector, that is individuals, business firms. It does not include money creating sector. What do you mean by money creating sector? See, it's clearly written government and banking system, as cash balances held by them do not come into the actual circulation in the money. Because we have already studied that banking creates money. They are just, like I would say, uh, supplying the money of one person to another person. So that means it will count that money, then it will be having double counting, which we have to avoid. So money supply means only that money which is held by the public, not by the banking system. Understood, students? Okay. The last topic is, I would say, in the money supply, last feature is it is a stock concept. What do you mean by stock concept? Just see clearly. It is a stock concept, which is, that means it is concerned with the volume of money held by public at a particular period of time. It is a stock. You can count at any time. Is it clear? Stock means what? You might have studied in your accounts also. The thing which is kept as a reserve, which you can count, which you can see, etc. etc. So money supply is, once again I'll tell you, money held by the public only. Is it clear, students? No other doubt I can see, right? I think you might be clear with this particular concept. What is money supply? Let's discuss now measures of money supply. How we can measure this money supply? There are four major concepts, out of which we are going to study only one, because the other three concepts are deleted from your board. We are supposed to read only one topic. That is, measures of money supply can be measured through M1. Now, what is this M1? M1 is equal to CU plus DD plus OD. What is the CU? CU means currency held by public, and DD means demand deposits, and OD means other deposits with RBI. Now, we'll just read it from the starting itself. It is the first and basic measure of money supply. It comprises currency held by the public, demand deposits, and other deposits with the RBI. It is also known as transaction money. Another name of M1 is nothing but transaction money. From the word transaction itself, you can understand whenever the transaction is taking place of exchange of goods and money, you can say it is M1. It is directly used for making transactions. M1 is equal to CU plus DD plus OD. M1 also known as narrow measure of money supply. Why we call it as narrow money? Because few part of money supply has been excluded from it. As I said in the previous money supply definition itself, that we are going to read only the money held with the public. So here you can see currency held by the public, TD means demand deposits, and the OD means other deposits with RBI. It has given more importance of medium of exchange, one function of funds. Is it clear? I think M1 might have been cleared. Any doubt means you can ask in your queries. Is it clear, students? Now, what you have to do is just go through this chapter once again and prepare your notes and write down the question answers related to this thing. Go through the question papers, board papers, whatever questions are repeatedly which question came in the board paper. Just go through that, prepare the notes for that, and be ready with your notes. Learn it and study well. All the best, students. God bless. Thank you.